Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're completely cutting through the noise to build a real, practical, three-pillar productivity system. We're talking bulletproof methodology, incredibly frictionless digital tools, and grounded physical habits. Seriously, if you've ever felt like you're just constantly spinning your wheels but not actually moving forward, you are absolutely in the right place. Okay, let's just dive right in.
You know that feeling of total overwhelm trying to remember every single little task? From some massive work project down to just remembering to pick up the dry cleaning? Well, this famous quote from David Allen really hits the nail on the head. Your brain is for having ideas, not holding them. Trying to keep it all up there in your head, it's basically a recipe for disaster. Because when your brain is acting as a storage drive, it really can't act as a processor. So we've got to clear that mental RAM. And today, we're looking at exactly how to do that, pulling some brilliant insights from productivity experts Jeff Su, Tiago Forte, and Pat Flynn.
So here's our quick roadmap for today. First, the productivity dilemma. Then, step 1, capture everything. Next, step 2, organize by location. After that, the frictionless tech stack. Then we'll cover mastering work from home, and finally, boundaries and communication. All right, part 1, the productivity dilemma. Escaping the blur of endless tasks. Let's just acknowledge the reality of modern work right now. It is tough, especially when those lines between your home and the office completely vanish. Entrepreneur Pat Flynn points out that working from home, especially if you got kids running around, can honestly feel like a 24/7 job, just with no extra pay. Sure, you have the freedom of being your own boss or setting your own schedule, but without a solid routine, that freedom can really quickly morph into endless procrastination. Or even worse, you're just working constantly without actually moving the needle at all. It literally demands an entirely new approach to how we manage our time and, frankly, our sanity. Which brings us to part 2. Step 1. Capture everything, minimizing friction from brain to system.
So, to relieve that immense pressure of the 24/7 blur, we're going to turn to Jeff Su's highly simplified methodology, and it all starts with step 1, getting things out of your brain immediately. It's a really brilliant two-step framework. Step 1 is just pure capture. Jeff actually uses a low-friction widget for an app called Todoist right there on his phone's home screen. And the whole goal here is to minimize the friction between having an idea and actually recording it. You want to capture an idea in under 10 seconds so you can instantly get back to what matters. You aren't organizing it yet. You're literally just dumping it into a trusted inbox. Step 2, the actual organizing, that only happens later when you're sitting down in front of a real keyboard.
Now, the absolute crucial point here is clarity. When you're capturing things super fast, you might just type something vague, like present. But then you look at that 2 days later and your brain goes, wait, what present? For who? So Jeff Su recommends always starting your good capture with an action verb. If you type, buy birthday present for Michelle today, your future self knows exactly what the required action is. It just removes all that annoying ambiguity.
Moving on to part 3. Step 2. Organize by location, placing information where it's needed. Okay, so once you have this massive list of accurately captured ideas just sitting in your inbox, where do they actually go? Well, drawing from productivity expert Tiago Forte, Jeff Su explains a massive paradigm shift here. The totally wrong way to organize your digital life is by where you originally found the information. Think about it. Dumping a cool video editing tutorial into some generic YouTube links folder is practically useless. The right way? You've got to put it exactly in the location where you will actually use it. To really wrap our heads around this, let's look at some real-world examples. Say you're at the gym, recovering between massive 800-kilogram sets, and bam, an idea for a marketing campaign hits you. You capture it quickly on your phone. Later, when you're at your keyboard, you do not put it in a generic gym ideas folder. No way. You drop it directly into your team's weekly meeting agenda document. Or take the tax bureau deadline. Jeff was told he needed to file for a refund in exactly 8 months. If he just puts that in a generic taxes note, he's totally going to forget it. Instead, he organizes it by creating a calendar block 8 months in the future and attaches the required documents right there inside the invite. Your calendar tells you where to be and when, which makes it the absolute perfect active location for time-sensitive tasks.
All right, part 4, the frictionless tech stack, apps that work at the speed of thought.
So, you've got the methodology down, but what about the actual digital tools? Out of literally hundreds of apps tested over a decade, these 5 survived Tiago Forte's rigorous testing strictly because they absolutely minimize friction. He uses Superhuman to just fly through his email, Obsidian because it locally stores and links complex research for his books, and Things for that lightning-fast task capture we were just talking about. But notice how he uses Claude AI. He doesn't just treat it like a basic search engine, he treats it as a deep, collaborative thinking partner to bounce highly complex themes off of. And to talk to Claude, he uses the real game changer here,
WhisperFlow, for highly accurate voice dictation.
What's incredibly interesting about this concept is the paradigm shift it represents. Voice recognition is now over 99% accurate. So using tools like WhisperFlow allows you to bypass the keyboard entirely. When you speak instead of type, you stop quietly critiquing and editing yourself. You just flow. You can feed incredibly rich, nuanced context to your AI tools so naturally, achieving true speed of thought productivity. It's amazing.
Now for Part 5, Mastering Work from Home, Protecting Your Physical Environment.
Okay, so your methodology is totally solid, your digital brain is perfectly organized, but let's be honest with ourselves, that is not going to save you if your physical space is absolute chaos. Pat Flynn stresses that the total freedom of working from home can really quickly lead to laziness if you don't have a routine. Without a morning commute to naturally wake you up, you have to manufacture that rhythm yourself. First off, you must change out of your pajamas to signal to your brain that the day is officially started. You also have to find your specific dedicated work nook. No more just wandering between the couch and the kitchen table. And speaking of the kitchen, you have to actively choose healthy foods. Because let's face it, you no longer have coworkers sitting around to silently judge you for eating a triple-decker burger for lunch.
And please remember, pacing around your living room while taking a conference call, that does not count as a break. You need a true mental escape. Pat Flynn specifically schedules quick video game sessions, like a quick match of Rocket League or Super Smash Bros., just to completely disconnect his brain from work. You really need to step completely away from the desk so you can return to your work genuinely refreshed and actually ready to focus.
Finally, Part 6, Boundaries and Communication, Defending Your Time and Relationships. For our final pillar, we're tackling what might honestly be the most dangerous trap of remote work, the absolute failure to mentally check out. If you leave this unchecked, it can severely damage your personal relationships. Pat shared this highly vulnerable anecdote about a time he was sitting on the couch with his wife, April. She was right there talking to him, but he was completely zoned out, just stressing over his next business product. She actually called him out on it, asking, "Wait, hold up, are you thinking about your business right now?" He ended up sleeping on the couch that night. It's a stark, powerful reminder that being physically present in your home means absolutely nothing if you are mentally still sitting at the office. To prevent that terrible overlap and truly protect your family time, your calendar must include essential schedule blocks. You can't just schedule meetings. You need to schedule your morning routine. You need to schedule flexible work hours for deep work, and you absolutely must schedule a strict checkout time, your own personal 5 p.m. boundary. By visually placing an explicit checkout time and dedicated family time right on your calendar, you are actively training your brain to switch gears completely. It's a signal that work is officially done and it's time to be 100% mentally and physically available to the people who matter most.
Furthermore, keeping that schedule a total secret doesn't help anyone. You have to over-communicate this schedule with your spouse, your kids, or your roommates so they actually know when it's okay to interrupt and when they really need to let you focus. Pat also suggests a great tip: designate a friend to filter breaking news for you so you aren't distracted by the daily doom scroll. And lastly, working remotely can be super isolating. Use face-to-face video calls to satisfy your very human need for actual connection.
Ultimately, all these systems, these apps, these schedules, they all share one major goal. They should eventually become completely invisible. Think about it. When you capture tasks instantly, organize them exactly where they belong, and set strict physical boundaries, all that daily friction just disappears, so your true creativity can finally thrive. So, I'll leave you with this question. If the technology completely disappeared, what would your best work actually look like? How will you implement these pillars to reclaim your focus today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.